I'm Carol Angela Davis with your reality news check for Thursday, August 4th, 2011. We're going to begin with your headlines. Some bad news on HIV infections. Also today, he confessed to the killing, but there's nothing police can do about it. Also today, we have news for you of the biggest drug haul in UK history. Then we have news for you of some arrests in a child pornography ring. You've probably never heard of this before. Also today, is it safe to fly? We'll tell you what's going on with the FAA. Then a massive ground turkey recall due to salmonella. And finally, a Chicago television station edits video to make a 4-year-old boy look more violent. Here we go with your stories. We're going to begin with you on the HIV infections. Bad news there. Well, there's bad news and good news, I should say. First, the good news. The number of new HIV infections in the United States has remained steady at around 50,000 cases a year over the past 4 years. That is the word from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. But here's the bad news. Men who have sex with men continue to account for most new infections. Young gay and bisexual men are the only group in which infections are increasing, and this increase is particularly concerning among young African American men who are having sex with men. That's right. Young men between the ages of 13 and 29 who had sex with men had the highest new infection rates, the highest new infection increases. We should tell you that over the 4-year period, more than a quarter of all new cases. And for young black men, the rates are off the charts. Infection rates among this population jumped 48% over the 4-year period, and just so you know. The infection rate among black women was 15 times higher than that of white women. Hispanics, they make up about 16% of the population and 20% of new HIV infections. Their rate of infection is about 3 times that of whites. Get this. From Vermont, imagine killing someone, being arrested, going to trial, getting acquitted, and then several years later you walk into the police station and you confess to the crime and you're still a free man. That's what happened in Vermont. In 2004, Isaac Turnbull was acquitted of killing his friend and his co-worker. He stood trial on charges of first-degree murder in the shooting death of Declan Lyons, who was 24 years old. The two men were co-workers at the restaurant American Flatbread in Wadesfield. At the time, Lyons was engaged and expecting his first child. He had been mixing sauce in a cauldron outside of the restaurant when witnesses inside the restaurant heard a loud popping noise. Well, when the waitresses went outside to investigate, they found an unresponsive Lyons on the ground with a gaping head wound. Well, police had no suspects in the case until about a month later when Turnbull went to a party and apparently under the influence of mushrooms confessed the killing to his friends. Somehow, though, the jurors found him guilty. One reason because he was mentally ill, although he had told his friends that he had done the killing. Well, he went to trial, was found not guilty. And then about 2 years later, he walked into the police station and said, "Hey, I did it." Well, Turnbull is protected by the Fifth Amendment double jeopardy clause and cannot be charged. Also in crime, more than 50 members of a child pornography ring. They're now in the slammer. These so-called people, even though they're innocent until proven guilty, but what a group. They were engaged in what authorities describe as horrific and unspeakable crimes, sexually exploiting children from 12 years old to as young as infants. This global pornography ring was based in the United States, reached across 5 continents and 14 countries. The name of the website they operated out of was Dreamboard. Once given access to the site, they had to continually upload images of child sexual abuse in order to maintain their membership, and the more content they provided, the more content they were allowed to access. Okay, members who created and shared images and videos of themselves molesting children. That's right. They had elevated status and greater access. Okay. Also in crime from London, British officials say they've seized about $492 million worth of cocaine. Apparently 1.2 tons of cocaine found in a hidden, specially designed compartment in a boat called the Louise. It was docked in southern England. British officials say it is the largest ever Class A drug haul that they have ever made. Okay, the UK classifies Class A drugs as those that are most likely to cause harm. French authorities apparently alerted British officials to the suspicious craft while it was in the Caribbean in May. The boat was traveling to the Netherlands via Southampton in southern England. Now, police say it took them 6 days to even find the drugs on the boat because the hiding place was so ingenious. The cocaine was about 90% pure, whereas the average purity of cocaine seized in the UK at the border is about 63%. The 6 men arrested, all of them were Dutch nationals. They included the 60-year-old owner of the boat and his 3 sons, ages 27, 32, and 34. That is a tragedy. Meanwhile, will it be safe to fly in an airplane? That is the question. Maybe not. President Obama wants Congress back on the job immediately to deal with the impasse over funding the Federal Aviation Administration. It's now in the 12th day of a partial shutdown that has left more than 70,000 airport construction workers out of work and 4,000 FAA employees out of work. Transportation Secretary Ray LaHood has urged lawmakers to pass a clean funding bill and then work out their differences later. At issue are 2 provisions to the funding bill. Those provisions would eliminate millions in subsidies for rural airlines and make it more difficult for airline workers to unionize. Both of those provisions, of course, opposed by the Democrats. In business news, meat giant Cargill is recalling 36 million pounds of ground turkey linked to a nationwide salmonella outbreak. Already the outbreak has killed 1 person in California and sickened at least 76 others. Illnesses in the outbreak do date back to March and have been reported in 26 states coast to coast. Cargill saying it is recalling fresh and frozen ground turkey products produced at the company's Springdale, Arkansas plant between February 20th and August 2nd. Company officials say that all ground turkey production has been suspended at the plant until the company is able to determine the source of the outbreak. Then finally today, get this from CBS TV, WBBM TV in Chicago, where an editor apparently edited footage of a young black boy to make him look more violent. In a story about a drive-by shooting in the city's Park Manor neighborhood, WBBM aired this exchange between a reporter and the boy. Boy, I'm not scared of nothing. Reporter, when you get older, are you going to stay away from all these guns? Boy, no. Reporter, no. What are you going to do when you get older? Boy, I'm going to have me a gun. Okay, after the exchange, the anchor said, that was scary indeed. The co-anchor said, hearing that little boy there, wow. All right, but the problem is that's not what the boy actually said. Here's an excerpt from the actual interview. Reporter, boy, you ain't scared of nothing. Damn, when you get older, are you going to stay away from all these guns? Boy, no. Reporter, no. What are you going to do when you get older? Boy, I'm going to have me a gun. Reporter, you are? Why do you want to do that? Boy, I'm going to be the police. Reporter, okay, then you can have one. That is irresponsible journalism. I'm Carol Angela Davis. Thank you so much for joining me here on your Reality News Check for Thursday, August 4th, 2011. See you tomorrow, same time, same place. News stories. Follow me on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter, Carol Angela D. See you tomorrow.